All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're not just talking about tight spots or, small rooms. We're actually talking about an opponent, an adversary that looks perfectly normal, perfectly harmless, but it's hiding some of the most lethal threats you could ever face on a job site. So, welcome to the world of confined spaces.
I mean, just look at this. It could be a tank, a sewer, maybe a silo. It looks quiet, ordinary. But what if I told you that entering this space, totally unprepared, could be the very last thing you ever do? What is it that makes something so simple, so unbelievably dangerous?
Okay, so let's get the official definition down so we're all on the same page. A confined space, it really boils down to three key things. It has limited ways to get in or out, it's big enough for a person to actually get inside, and, this is the crucial part, it is not designed for people to just hang out and work in all day. That simple definition, well, that's our starting line.
And this, right here, this really gets to the heart of the danger. It's the illusion. It's what you see versus what you don't see. Your eyes see an ordinary tank, but what's really there is a potential death trap. You see a simple manhole, but lurking just below is an invisible killer. It's this massive gap between our perception and the reality that makes these spaces so incredibly treacherous.
So what are these invisible killers? What are we actually up against? Let's pull back the curtain and really expose the hidden dangers that are just waiting inside these everyday structures.
The thing that's so wild here is just how many different ways things can go wrong. First, you've got the air itself. It could be full of toxic gases, or maybe fumes that could ignite with a single spark. Then there's the oxygen. Too little, below 19.5%, and you just pass out. Too much, over 23.5%, and suddenly everything becomes dangerously flammable. Then you've got engulfment, literally being buried by liquids or fine solids like grain. And that's all before we even get to things like machinery that could start up on its own, or just simple slips and falls in a place where getting help is next to impossible.
And now for what is, without a doubt, the most chilling number in this entire explainer, 60%. I want you to let that sink in. 60% of people who die in confined spaces are not the person who got into trouble in the first place. They are the would-be rescuers, good people, colleagues rushing in to help, completely unprepared, and they become victims themselves. That isn't just a statistic, it's a gut-wrenching warning.
So how do we defeat this enemy, right? We don't guess. We don't just hope for the best. We use a playbook, a clear, step-by-step strategy for survival that can turn a potential death trap right back into a manageable worksite.
In this playbook, it's built on 5 keys. These are non-negotiable. First up, the permit. This is your official authorization, the document that proves you've thought this through. Second, you test the air. You have to know what you're breathing before you go in, and you got to keep testing it the whole time. Third, ventilate. Push good air in, push bad air out. Simple as that. Fourth, isolate. Lock out any pipes or power sources so nothing can turn on by surprise. And finally, number 5, prepare. Know exactly how you're going to get someone out before they ever set foot inside. Now, this is not a solo mission. Not at all. A safe entry depends entirely on a small, coordinated team, with every person playing their part perfectly. You can think of it as the safety trinity. 3 distinct roles, all working together, all crucial for survival. Just look at how these roles are designed to interlock. You've got the entrant, who goes inside to do the work, but their most important job, to listen and get out immediately if they're told to. Then you have the attendant. They are the lifeline on the outside, constantly monitoring. And their most critical limitation, and I cannot stress this enough, is that they must never enter for a rescue. No matter what, their job is to call for the planned help. And finally, the supervisor oversees the whole operation with the power to cancel the job in a heartbeat if conditions change. Each role is a safety net for the others.
But what if? What if, despite all the permits, all the tests, all the planning, something still goes wrong? This is where that final piece of the puzzle slots in. This is for when the worst-case scenario becomes reality, and every single second counts.
I love this quote because it is so brutally honest. An emergency is the worst time to create a plan. It's so true, right? When things go sideways, you don't have time to think. You just have time to act. And those actions had better be based on a plan you made when everyone was calm and thinking clearly.
So what does a real rescue plan look like? Well, it means knowing exactly who to call and how. It means having the right equipment, harnesses, winches, retrieval lines, right there, on site, ready to go. It means having people who are actually trained to use that gear. And notice that one point in particular, procedures to prevent unauthorized rescue.
That is how we stop that tragic 60% statistic. We plan the rescue so well that no one is even tempted to improvise.
So as we start to wrap this up, we need to kind of reframe our thinking. When we talk about confined spaces, we have to change our whole definition of success. The goal isn't just about welding that pipe or cleaning out that tank. That's not the mission.
This right here, is the true goal. This is the only win that actually matters. Victory isn't a completed task on a work order. Victory is seeing every single member of your team walk off that site and go home to their families, safe and sound.
So I'll just leave you with this one question. The dangers. They're very real, but they are predictable. The procedures are clear and they are proven to work. You have the playbook. The only question left is your team truly ready to run the play?